Hello and welcome to this week's webinar with Sara Flack, the Child Advocacy Center of the Finger Lakes Education Coordinator. Today, I'll be talking about professionalism while working from home. During COVID-19, a lot of us have had to work remotely from home, either part-time or full-time, to meet the health and safety guidelines. There are a few things that'll help us stay focused and more productive. Some tips for staying focused and professional while working from home include maintaining a daily schedule, staying organized, keeping open lines of communication, wearing appropriate attire, and being aware of video conferencing settings. I'll be talking a little bit about each of these tips and some things to keep in mind to help you stay focused and more professional and productive while working from home. First, let's talk about maintaining a daily schedule. Some key things to consider is that you may want to attempt to keep a consistent start and end time to your day. If possible, keep this the same or similar to your start and end time when you were working from the office. That way, when you adjust back to working from an office, you will be still on that same schedule and your body will be more regulated. Keeping a consistent start time also helps you honor a routine. This includes your typical morning routine, whether that includes getting in a short exercise, yoga or meditation, as well as your showering and hygiene process and eating breakfast. Now that children and students are back to school, if you have students at home, this can also help regulate their schedule as well. Task lists are an especially helpful way to make sure that you're on track and focused, and that you're accomplishing things on time and meeting your deadlines. And just remember, don't forget lunch or to take breaks. Just like you would if you were in the office, make sure to take time where you step away from your computer or telephone. That gives you that time and space to reset and be more productive through the remainder of the day. Trying to complete tasks and work on an empty stomach will leave you groggy and run down. Be sure to eat a healthy lunch or take a walk. Point 2, staying organized. Staying organized is especially important. Keeping a clean and tidy workspace will help you keep focused and limit distractions. If you're able to have a desk or office space that's separate from your living space in your home, that's ideal. However, we must understand that not everyone has the same size home or space as others. If you have to work from a kitchen table or a shared space in your home, be sure to try to limit distractions. Keeping a cell phone or TV and other electronics out of reach can be really important. Also, you want to keep your supplies that will be needed close by. This could include pens, pencils, paper, Post-it notes, meeting agendas, and other such documents. Make sure that your files are organized and up to date, whether this is files that are shared in a shared drive on your computer or actual paper files. You want to make sure that they're up to date and in some kind of order so that they're easily accessible. If you have confidential information, make sure that they're in appropriate storage containers that have a lock and key and are not left out in common areas of your home or on your computer or work surfaces when video conferencing. Also, a lot of us receive plenty of emails every day. It can be overwhelming to keep track of them. Try making folders for your emails and storing them in the appropriate slots. That way you can easily access when you're looking or referring back. If an email is not necessary, delete it. Or if it's an email chain or back and forth communication, Only keep the most recent that has all of the conversation and delete previous email threads. This can help keep your email less overwhelming and more organized. Our next point is about communication. We want to make sure that we are staying in contact with our colleagues and supervisors. Find what works best for you and times that'll be easiest for you to meet. Many of us are juggling lots of things: work, families, clients. So you want to make sure that you're setting up specific times where you can meet and connect with your colleagues and supervisors to discuss goals and expectations, as well as any needs. Clear expectations and needs that are outlined will help keep you all together on the same page and working for a common goal. If there's something that you don't have at your workspace at home that would make your job easier or you more productive, be sure to let your supervisor or colleagues know. You may be able to pick some supplies up from your office or be reimbursed for any supplies that you need to complete your job. Another reminder is that the internet can be testy. A lot of us in this time and age are relying primarily on the internet to stay in communication and to complete job-related tasks. However, especially now that students are back in school and many of them are doing remote learning or hybrid learning plans, the internet and some of the platforms that are being utilized aren't and weren't prepared for the sheer volume of people that are trying to access them all at once. This may cause internet crashes, platform crashes, and outage areas from time to time. Also, some weather will also interfere with internet connectivity. Make sure that you have discussed a backup plan with your colleagues and supervisors about what to do if the internet is down or you're unable to reach them. If your internet or phone lines aren't working, be sure to utilize another form of communication to let them know how they can better reach you during that time. The next thing we'll be talking about is professional work attire. Working from home, it can be very tempting to stay in our pajamas or comfy clothes all day. But remember, there is a difference between comfort and professionalism. Some days it may be appropriate to wear more relaxed clothing if you're working strictly from your computer on paperwork or research. However, if you're having meetings or video conferencing or working with a client, it may be more appropriate to dress a little more professionally. You want to keep in mind and know your audience and what is appropriate in that setting. And just another thing to keep in mind is that readiness mindset. Just like we want to keep our morning routine, it just kind of helps set the tone for what we're hoping to accomplish for the day. If we were to simply roll out of bed, straight to our desk and our computer in our pajamas, without doing a morning routine or changing our attire, we may be finding ourselves less motivated to accomplish tasks and having a difficult time staying focused. On days that you aren't feeling well or finding it particularly difficult, try to really up your game. Maybe, even if you don't have meetings or anyone that will see you, get dressed in your best work or presentation outfit and make sure to do hair or possibly makeup. This can help us just get in that frame of mind that we are ready to accomplish something great. The last thing that I want to talk about is about video conferencing. Because we have not been able to meet face-to-face, many of us are utilizing different types of video conferencing, whether that be Microsoft Teams or Zoom or some other platform, to meet and collaborate with our colleagues and professionals. We want to make sure that we keep our logins and passwords somewhere safe so that other people cannot utilize them or pretend to be us while logging in. We also want to make sure that we have them easily accessible in case we forget them. Things to keep in mind while on video conferencing include microphone and cameras. Many times when we're meeting for a video conference, we have our camera on as well as our microphone. However, if we are meeting in a larger group, it's probably important and beneficial to turn off a microphone unless you are the speaker. Having your microphone turned off can help minimize background noise. It will be easier for all attendees to focus specifically on the person who's talking. Background noises can be very distracting and can also reduce the audio quality of the speaker if multiple people have their microphones on. Again, many of us, if we're working from home, may have children, pets, or significant others at home who, just because we are on a call, may not be completely quiet and may also be going about their daily lives. It's a good idea to keep the background noise limited and those microphones off. The camera. So we want to think about the camera, whether it's positioned, the angle, how close to our face. Certainly we don't want to see close-ups of somebody's nostrils or mouth or them chewing or eating while on a meeting. If you're trying to multitask and you have a conference during your lunch or you weren't able to get lunch, this might be a good time to turn the camera off and just have on the audio. Many programs can allow you to use profile pictures so that people still have a sense of seeing you and knowing who they're talking to without seeing you in real time. Remember, your background is important as well, not just for noise, but also for visual. If you're sitting in front of something or there are people constantly walking around behind you, it could be very distracting to others who are viewing the call. Try to sit in a space that has a more neutral background and is less distracting. We've all seen or heard about a variety of Zoom fails. Some of the most entertaining ones include people who have left on their microphone and you can hear them in the background either using the bathroom, talking to a family member, a relative, or friend, or sometimes you even hear people saying inappropriate comments or swear words in the background. This is why it's especially important to pay attention to your video conferencing settings. Other Zoom fails include people who have been dressed appropriately from what it appears until they stand up or walk away from their laptop, and then you notice that they either have mismatched clothes on or are only in boxers and don't have any appropriate pants or shorts or skirt on. These are all things to be appropriate to be aware of. If you Google Zoom fails, I'm sure you can find lots of reasons why you want to make sure that you're being as professional as possible while on video conferencing. Well, those are the tips and tricks that I have for you today. So I hope you found that a little bit interesting as well as enlightening, and that you'll be able to utilize some of those tips and tricks as you continue to work from home or remotely. As always, if you have any questions, you can email me at sara@cacfl.org.